Good morning. If you look at a banana and you hold a banana in your hand, banana has a certain shape and it has 5 edges. If you look into your hand, it also has 5 spaces for these 5 edges to fit in perfectly. So obviously the banana is designed for us as human beings. It is intelligently designed by one person, by one creator, to fit us.
This is Connect the Dots, the AI Impact Podcast. I'm Christoph Burkhardt. Welcome to the show.
Now, what do you do as a company? You also try to fit something that is perfectly designed for your customers, that adds a lot of value, like the banana, to us. But now the question is intelligent design the right approach, and does it explain how we are? Just a thought experiment for you, but if you look at the human body, imagine you're the intelligent designer. So your job is to create the human being. Would you build it like this? No, seriously, is this the best you can do? Is this your solution? And what's the problem you're solving? You know, an intelligent designer tried, the banana fits in our hand because it needs to fit in our hand, but why is our hand here in the first place? Why do we look like this? The gentleman in the room, you might have noticed that you have nipples too. What for? If you are an intelligent designer and your job is to create a product, a system that fits perfectly into this world because this is your purpose, why would you design features onto a product that the product does not need? Right? These things don't have a function for us, or at least we don't know about it. But they're still there. No, what explains design in most cases is not the intelligent creator. It's not the genius. It's not the person with the most expertise. It's evolution. Thank you. Now, the problem is what human beings do is they wonder a lot about the answers. We wonder a lot about the new products, the new technologies, and how we can use them. What we don't do very often is ask whether our question is a good question. And every time we think about purpose, we think about the question. We have to ask if our question is a good question. Is it a good question to ask, how can we enable human beings to take even more pictures of themselves and share them with others? Is this what we want to contribute to? Is this what we as a company want to stand for? Now, interesting, there's kind of these weird bubbles around these words like purpose. Now, I want to define it a little bit. So companies have a vision. Right? This is different from purpose. A vision is about what we think the company is going to be like in 10 years. Do you have a vision for Beneo? Do you have a vision for this company and how it's going to look like in 10 years? That's your vision, your idea. Then you have a mission statement. This is, okay, so how are you going to go and create value for your customers, and how are you going to turn your company into that company that you want it to be? That's your mission. And your purpose as a company is to explain, why are you here? What is your justification for existence? Not what are you good for, but why are you here? Why are human beings here? Now, this is a really difficult question to answer. That's why most people don't do it. But we need to do it because purpose does something to innovation and progress that no other thing does, and it guides it in a way that we can control. Who of you has a smartphone? Hi. All right, so you think that's a good piece of technology. It does something. It does take pictures, but it does a lot more for us. Right? Most of our social life, and probably for you, most of your professional life, is in that device. You can do a lot of your daily work in that device. And yet, if you think about the adaptiveness of this thing, it's not very adaptive. It's a tiny screen you're looking at most of the time. You do a lot of work that this screen is actually too small for. And the worst thing is the battery's always empty. The more work you do, the less battery there's left. And I think also, a thing that we forget about is that we can leave this everywhere. This is not attached to our bodies. So is this adaptive? Is this piece of technology, given how important it is for our lives and for our social need to share pictures of ourselves with everybody else, for this social need, does it fulfill that purpose? The reason why technology disappears is that it gets replaced by something else that does this job in a better way. Now, that's why the selfie stick will disappear the moment the smartphone disappears, and the smartphone will transform into something else, into a different technology. We will not have a smartphone in 10 years that looks anywhere like the smartphone today. We'll probably have something that we carry on our bodies, because we don't want to lose this thing. What will not disappear, and this is very interesting, is us, is what makes us human. Our need to share pictures of ourselves with other human beings will not disappear. We do have a social need, apparently, to come together in groups, exchange information, share knowledge, like you will do for the rest of this day and tomorrow, and the rest of your life, probably. In a complex world, this is very dangerous. The illusion of control. We feel good about the plan we made, because the plan makes us feel good. Not the result the plan achieves is important, but the planning is important. We love to plan because it feels like we can control what's happening on Monday morning. And we live in a world in which we can't. We're constantly bombarded with things that we could not predict. And unpredictability is going up. We will have more and more of that, more and more. And the more unpredictability we have, the more we will need control. And the more our need for control rises, the more planning we will do, and the more often we will fail. We will learn a lot, but not about the process of planning. We will learn a lot about our need to plan. If purpose is the opposite of one thing, then it's the opposite of indifference. Robots, artificial intelligence, is indifferent to experiences, and we are not. We know how it feels to lose $100. Right? It feels bad. A robot only knows, you just lost $100. Why are you so mad about it? Last week you got $100. We're like, yeah, that's not the same. And if you get $100 from your grandma, that money will be used very differently from $100 out of your paycheck. Why? It's the same $100. No, it feels different. And an AI and a robot will not understand why that feels different. Because it's not rational. It's irrational, and we are irrational, but for a good reason. It makes us better. So when we ask the purpose question, we need to ask ourselves, what are we here for? We need to ask, what are we good at? What makes us humans humans? And we know that there's some things that hold us back because they make us irrational. And we need to compensate in some way. But one thing that we all need to do is not to be that robot. And I feel what we've done in the last 20 years in the professional context is to look for people who behave like robots. And we've started treating other people like robots. We expect things from them that sound a lot like working like a robot. We need to stop behaving like robots. We need to start going back to thinking like human beings again. And that means we need to free our minds from all the things we've learned. Exchange knowledge. Put everything on the table we have. Because we are much more different from each other than we think. And this is what drives our evolution. And with that courage, I wish you a lot of luck. And I hope we can make this world a better place in the end by coming together and being courageous. Thank you.